Imagine this. You're young, in college, finally free, and about to live out the ultimate spring break adventure. Palm trees, music, late-night beach parties. It should have been unforgettable in the best way. But instead, someone you barely know decides to rob you blind. And the worst part? You can't prove it. That's what happened to me, until karma decided to deliver justice in a way I never could have planned. If you've ever been stolen from, underestimated, or just wish for karma to hit someone who wronged you, smash that like button, subscribe, and get ready. Because this one is for anyone who believes payback always finds a way. Back in the late 1980s, I was a sophomore at a Midwestern university. Let's call me Rachel. I was dating Luis, an international student from Chile. Luis came from money. His family was well off back home, but what I loved most about him wasn't the money. It was his loyalty. He cared about people deeply, and when he felt someone was wronged, he didn't just let it slide. Spring break was around the corner, and Luis and his brother had already booked one of those all-inclusive student trips to South Padre Island, Texas. Unfortunately, by the time I tried to book a seat, the bus was full. And my roommate, Melissa, she suggested I hitch a ride with her boyfriend, Greg, and a couple of his fraternity brothers who were driving down in a pickup truck. At first, I hesitated. For guys I didn't know, but Melissa swore they were fine, so I agreed. That's how I ended up in a truck with 4 strangers, heading from snowy Illinois all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. At first, things weren't too bad. 3 of the guys were decent, chatty, polite, cracking jokes to keep the mood light. But then there was Eric. The truck was his. Everyone in the fraternity called him Drugs. And let me tell you, he lived up to the name. While the rest of us rotated shifts behind the wheel, Eric never once offered to drive. He sprawled across the back seat, red-eyed and laughing at nothing, passing a joint like it was oxygen. His only contribution? Complaining. But I kept quiet. After all, he was doing me a favor by letting me ride. We finally pulled into South Padre, exhausted, sunburned from hours through Texas heat, but excited. Luis was already there waiting for me. I thanked the guys for the ride, even handed Eric $100 for gas. He didn't even look me in the eye, just shoved the bill in his pocket with this smug little grin. That night, everything was supposed to be perfect. Luis had planned a night out, dinner, music, dancing. But when I opened my suitcase to grab my wallet, my heart dropped. Every single dollar I brought, $300 cash, my entire spending money for the week, was gone. I tore through every pocket, every pair of jeans, even my socks. Nothing. I broke down in tears. Luis rushed over, and the moment I choked out what happened, his expression darkened. He knew. I knew. We both knew. It was Eric. Luis told me not to worry. He'd cover my costs. But his jaw was tight, and his brother looked furious. I felt powerless, humiliated. Someone had stolen from me, and I couldn't prove it. Days went by. I tried to enjoy the trip. Beaches, bars, the salty ocean breeze. But that sting never left. Every time I thought about Eric, lounging back in his truck, while the rest of us drove, pocketing my money like I was nothing, my chest burned. Almost a week later, Luis, his brother Mateo, and I were at a crowded beach bar. Music blared, neon lights pulsed, and the scent of fried shrimp filled the air. That's when I saw it. Eric's truck pulling up outside. My stomach flipped. I froze. Luis leaned in close. "Which one's theirs?" he asked calmly. I hesitated. "That one," I whispered. He nodded once. "Stay here." I watched as Luis and Mateo slipped outside, blending into the crowd. My heart pounded so hard I thought I'd faint. Minutes dragged. I kept darting glances toward the door, terrified Eric or one of his buddies would walk in and spot me. Finally, the brothers returned, faces unreadable. Luis took my hand. "Let's go." I swallowed hard. "What did you do?" "Don't worry," he said softly. "Just trust me." The rest of the trip? Amazing. With Luis covering my share, we partied, laughed, and forgot about Eric. Or at least, I tried to. On the last day, Instead of taking the bus back, Louis surprised me with plane tickets out of Brownsville. While we waited at the airport, I pressed him again. "Tell me, what happened that night?" He finally smirked. "Let's just say, Eric's about to have the worst drive of his life." I blinked. "What do you mean?" He leaned closer. We filled his gas tank with sand. I gasped. My first reaction was shock. My second, a wild, guilty sense of satisfaction. 2 days later, Melissa casually mentioned that Eric's truck had broken down about an hour outside of South Padre. Not just broken down, completely ruined. The engine seized up. They spent days stranded, waiting for a tow. The repairs? Thousands of dollars. They had to replace the fuel pump, clear the lines, and eventually swap out the entire engine. Eric's father was livid. Not only did he foot the bill, but he also revoked Eric's truck privileges permanently. I didn't say a word. I just smiled quietly to myself, knowing karma had finally delivered. Sometimes revenge doesn't come with fists or confrontation. Sometimes it comes silently, in the form of a destroyed engine, and a spoiled brat getting exactly what he deserves. Did I feel guilty? Maybe for a moment. But then I remembered how powerless I felt that night when I found my money gone. And suddenly, the guilt didn't feel so heavy anymore. If this story gave you chills, hit that like button and drop a comment. What's the most satisfying karma you've ever witnessed? Don't forget to subscribe, because we got plenty more revenge stories just like this, where justice isn't just served, it's unforgettable.